So up front, this may seem fairly simple, but it's the rounding that actually is a little bit more complicated. And the only reason why it's a little bit more difficult is because it's really kind of a two-step process. You have to be able to identify sig figs correctly before you can write your answer correctly. And if you can't do sig figs well enough, you definitely won't get this done correctly. Does that make sense? So if this is really 100% based on first being able to identify sig figs correctly, and then second applying the rule correctly. So it's really a two-step process. Okay? So here's how this guy works. Okay? Now remember, this is going to be a different rule, different situation than what we did yesterday. Okay? On a test, I might not have them clumped in distinct sections. I might have them intermingled. So you're going to have to make sure, oh, I see a plus sign, I use the addition subtraction rule. Or, oh, I see the multiplication sign, I have to use the multiplication division rule. Okay? Here we go. It says, the final answer, or what we would write as our answer, has to have the same number of significant figures as the measurement with the smallest number of significant digits. Significant digits, figure, something. Okay? So what this is saying is, whatever my answer is, I need to round my answer so it has the same number of significant digits as my measurement that has the least amount of significant digits. So you still have the least concept, but it's not decimal places, is it? It's sig figs, least amount of sig figs. So first thing you have to do is identify how many significant digits each of your measurements have. You see how you have to know how to do the significant digits before you can even do the problem itself? Okay, so how many significant digits does this guy have? It has 2. This one? 3. What this rule states is, when I get this number in my calculator, I need to take the number from the calculator and express it to have only 2 significant digits. Not 2 decimal places, 2 significant digits. I'll explain how this works. Why don't you guys plug this number, these 2 values into your calculator, and you can tell me what the calculator is.
0.0308004.
Okay? Now that's the calculator number. Now, listen very, very carefully to what I'm about to say. This 2 significant digits number here is telling us where we round. We round at that second significant digit. Okay? So what you're going to do is you're going to start writing this number left to right. Here's what I mean. Okay, I'm going to go point. There's my first digit. The question is that a significant digit or not? No, because I haven't hit my first whole number yet, have I? Okay, so I have 0 digits that are significant yet. Okay, let's move on. 3, is that a significant digit?
Yes.
Yes, so I've hit 1 significant digit. I want how many? 2. Okay, let's move on. This would be significant, so I'm going to have to round there. What does it round to? 1. That is your answer. That one's the easier of the 2. Because you can just cut off the rest of it because that's how you round. It's different when you're to the left of the decimal. A little different. Okay, and I need a unit. Gram times a gram is gram squared. Okay, when you add or subtract, the unit stays the same. When you multiply or divide, they build. Or cancel out, depending upon which one you're doing. Questions so far? Okay. Key to being successful here is to know significant digits identify where you round. If you can remember it's rounding and not chopping, that's important. I'll explain what I mean by that. Because technically it looked like we just chopped off the rest of this number, right? But no, what did we do? We just rounded it. Does that make sense? Okay? Do the next one. Plug this one in your calculator. 1,260.75. 765? Okay. We're not going to go that far anyways, but. Okay? All right. Walk me through the process of identifying how I'm going to change that answer. Ethan? Okay. Okay. I got to look at my two measurements, identify the amount of significant digits each of them has. Okay. What about this guy? 3. That's 0 significant. Rule 1. And obviously that's going to be
4.
Okay, so what does this rule tell me I got to do with these two things? Okay, so I'm going to take my number here and show this number rounded to have 3 significant digits. Following? Okay? All right, this is where it gets a little bit trickier. All right, same thing, left to right, start counting digits. First one. Is that a significant digit, yes or no?
Yeah.
Yes. How about that?
Yes.
Do you see how I have my 3 significant digits here? Now listen very carefully. This is the number one mistake students make. They say that's the answer. That is not the answer. And here's why. Remember how I said it's where you round, it's not where you chop. What did I just do? I just chopped off that really important number here. I just need to make sure that it's not significant. Well, what numbers do we know aren't significant in the right context? Zeros. So if I took this and made that a 0, is that still the same number rounded to that spot, but with this 0 being insignificant, showing 3 sig figs?
Yeah.
Yes. There is another way you can do this if you feel comfortable with scientific notation. Okay? Here's how you would do it. You would look at this, you would go 1, 2, 3, correct? 1.26. I'm going to stop at the third significant digit times 10 to the third. Is this the number and that number the exact same number? Okay, I think when you're doing a number greater than 1, it's easiest to put it in scientific notation, but that is just my preference. Okay, I'm going to go back to this here for a sec, because I can tell from some of you you're not 100% sure why I didn't get rid of that. Well, first off, if I got rid of this 0, is this number anywhere near this number? No. That would be absolute travesty from an ethical standpoint, right? Remember, think of it as, there's my first sig, there's my second significant digit, there's my third, so I got a round there. What would this number round to in the tens place? That, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Questions so far? You want to do another one together, or you want to try doing it on your own? What do you think? Okay, try to do the next one on your own. Let's see if you can do the next one on your own. Just do the third one though. Now, this is a little bit tricky because it's got scientific notation. So, parentheses, like I have it here. Very important that you do that. Okay? Oh shoot, I was thinking you were doing number 3. Never mind. We did 2 together? No, do 2, sorry, I thought the next one was 3.
Oh, yeah. Oh.
Yeah, if you want. Sorry guys, I totally thought the next one was 3. It was the third one we did, but it's not the number 3 on there. My bad. questions, Danny? It's taking a while. Good. Answer your question. Okay. Yep. If they're both at two significance, doesn't matter. They're both the least, so you just choose them. It doesn't matter decimal location. It matters significant digits. Decimal location is only for addition and subtraction. Okay. Are you guys aren't? I mean, I'm fine if you guys keep going, but I wanna stop if you're done with number 2. Is everyone done with number 2? Okay, then everything, just put your pencils down. Let's review this one more time. I promise I'll give you plenty of time to work on your homework. I just want to make sure that we don't get too far ahead of ourselves and create negative habits. Okay, so number 2, calculator answers what?
0.0148608.
Holy cow, is that really, wow, okay. And again, I think the numbers that are less than 1 are easier. Okay, they just are, because you can just chop, even though you're not. It's really rounding is what you're doing. That's important to realize. Chopping is not what we're doing here. We're rounding. Okay. So, how many sig figs do I have to write this number to, and can someone tell me why? Why? Yep, perfect. You articulated that exactly how I would have explained it. She said, this has 2 significant digits, and because it's the least amount of the 2 numbers, that's how we would round our answer. Okay? So, like that has 2 digits, right? What's wrong with that? That 0 is insignificant, so we round there to a what? 5. Yep. Good job. All right, why don't you guys finish? I feel like you guys are getting it. Yes, careful for when you do get to division, but do 3 first. Close. That number looks way different than this number, right? Remember, rounding. Not cutting, rounding.
Yeah.
Still cut. Round to that place. Or write in scientific notation if you find that to be the best way to do it. So is this division or what? Oh, you want to know how you write the units? The math is done exactly the same, just the units are a little different. No, I want it based on your scientific notation number, not your standard form. So this has 3, that has 2. This should have 2 sig figs shown. That has 4. So you want to show it with 2. Yep. You see how this has only 2 and that has 3? So you always round your answer to the least amount of significant digits as your least measurement. Any of them.
Well, the last one.
There's a couple hard ones in here. Yep. You guys ready? Shit, still working? Okay, let's go over this. Let's get calculator answer for this one. I got, did you guys write it down so I,
Yeah, 1.3 times 10 to the 7 meters.
that was your calculator answer?
No, that was mine.
I want to know the calculator answer.
128 zeros.
Alright, there's calculator answer. How many sig figs we gotta write it to?
I mean,
2.
1. Yeah, I don't know.
This has 3.
Yeah, 2.
This has 2. Alright, this is at the end of the number to the right of the decimal. Does that make sense? Okay? So I round this to 2. So essentially, if you want it, instead of starting to write when you're above 1, you want to just go, there's the second digit, that's where I round. Or you could write in scientific notation. Okay? So it would just be that. Isn't this rounded to the second place? Same number, just rounded? Did everyone see that? I didn't chop off all these zeros, did I? I rounded. The second way you can do it is scientific notation. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1.3 times 10 to the 7. If I wanted 3 sig figs, 1.3 or 1.28. If I wanted 4, 1.280. So forth. Okay? Now, you only want 2 because of how it worked out. I'm just showing. I'm just explaining if you needed to show more. All right, and then cubic meter, meter squared. Okay. Calculator answer for the next one.
86994.345.
Slow down. 86994.
Yeah, 0.345.
Okay, we're good there. We don't need to go that far. How many sig figs did I write this one to? 1. Woo! Now, how many sig figs does that have? 1. That only has 1. If this has more than 1, then doesn't this have way more than 2? Right, that's rule 4. Rule 4, end of the number, left of the decimal, not significant. Okay? So I need to show this with only 1 digit. Here is what most people do. That's not even close, right? But it happens all the time. Is this anywhere near that number? No, remember, we're not chopping, we're rounding. Left to right, there's my first significant digit, round there. How would this number round at that spot? 90,000. By rule, aren't these zeros insignificant by rule? So how many sig figs does this have? 1. Doesn't that agree with what we're supposed to show it as? Yeah.
So, could it be written like?
Yes, you could write this in scientific notation, but instead of, you just do 9 times 10 to the 4th.
Okay.
Because if you do 9.0, that has 2.
Okay, I got that answer.
Good. Okay. And then units would be unitless. Gram divided by gram is nothing.
Oh. So-
Grams cancel out if you do that.
So what?
This isn't a realistic thing. I just.
Oh.
But there are mathematical calculations that give you unitless answers. Okay. All right.
No, it doesn't. Oh, wait.
Gram divided by gram is nothing. It cancels. Yep.
Grandma divided by.
I know it's kind of difficult to understand, but. All right. Next one. Calculator answer.
0.5835.
One person. Sorry, I can't hear 500 numbers at once.
0.5835.
Oh, 4 threes. All right, we'll probably get there. Well. Okay. How many stick figures are around this one too?
I mean, 4.
This says 4. This says 2. So which one am I around to? 2. Do you see how you can't do that stuff right until you've identified these correctly?
Yeah.
I told you it was important, didn't I? Okay. So, need to show this to 2. Where am I rounding? I'm rounding at the second significant digit. Again, not chopping, we're rounding. What do we get? And that'll be a meter per second. Meter divided by a second.
Can you just put MTS?
Sure. I mean, no, I want the slash.
And then is it cubes or square?
Nope. Because I'm not multiplying anything. If it was this number times another meter divided by a second, then that'd be a meter squared divided by a second. Or if it was divided by another second, it'd be a meter per second squared.
Pretty easy.
Okay? Alright, about 10 minutes here. Get you guys some more practice. While I'm here, that you can ask me questions. Again, this is one where you definitely, it'd be wise to check the key, but you definitely do not want to just copy off the key because you need to be able to know how to do this. You've got a quiz coming up on Monday. Tomorrow we will review everything, and then your quiz will be Monday. Test is coming relatively quickly after that, probably like a Thursday. Number 8 and 10, we should do one of them together, because that's a little tricky. Let's do 10 together. Okay, everyone, get 10. Identify what the calculator answer gives you, please. Just give me a 10. Alright, number 10. What do you get for a calculator answer? Somebody.
59987.012.
Something like that. Okay. Alright, identify how many sig figs I gotta write it to. 3. I'm rounding here. Here's the problem.
Ouch.
Wouldn't this round this up to a 0, which would make it insignificant? Because if I rounded and kept rounding, wouldn't it be like, how many sig figs does that have? 1. Okay, the only way to do this correctly is to do it in scientific notation. Do you remember that day where I had those 4 problems at the bottom when we were doing scientific notation, and I wanted you to take numbers and specifically write them in scientific notation because that was the only way you could do it. That's what this is dealing with. Number 8, you might want to make a note for number 8, is the same thing. The only way you can write number 8 correctly is to do it in scientific notation. So how would I write this in scientific notation? I would still have to double round. Yep. That. And the units are grams squared. Okay. So yeah, make yourself a little note for number 8 that you know that that one you are also going to have to do it in scientific notation. Looks like it. Oh, not double round. No, because you're just going to look at the first digit. Because if you were rounding at the first decimal or first place, that would always round down if you were rounding. So you never double round, even though this would technically round that to a 5. It's still less than half. So I would just look at the next digit. So it's just going to round down. Okay, show it like that then. First up, how you showed it as how many significant digits. No, that's got like 12. No, it's got 8. Oh, because that decimal's there. If you take that decimal off, now it has 2. But that's not
Oh my gosh, I
3.
got the second one right. Wait, probably that's the negative something. Okay. Scientific notation is a lot better than the regular version.
Okay, this will be a challenge. Please, you need to make sure that if you have any questions, you come specifically ask me a question, not just, copy an answer and walk away. What'd you say?
I was wondering plus.
What? Guys, you can write all of them in scientific notation. That's how I prefer to do it because you can exactly put how many significant digits you want always. Like if you want to write it in scientific notation.
I asked what
You start. If that's a 0, or sorry, if that's a 0, that's just,
No, you
you don't have to write that. That's not a significant 0. Is that what you're asking?
Well, you can.
Okay, so yeah, you would start from the very beginning of the numbers. If you're talking about trying to figure out how many digits are significant, is that what you're saying? So like, these are not significant, that would be your first significant digit. If you're trying to write scientific notation, you start with the decimal. This is the number your calculator gave? Where'd you get this number from? 0. Now, if you round that 1 to a 2, everything else is a 0. You see what I'm saying? Like if you were to take this number and round it to the 10,000th place, then that would make that a 2 and everything else would be a 0. So you're rounding at the wrong spot. You want to round at what, 3 significant digits? You want to round there. Does that make sense? But if you did round there, you wouldn't be able to show the 3 sig figs. So that's why this one has to be in scientific notation. So you have the times 10 to the 4th, right?
Grams squared.
Okay? You move the decimal to here. Okay?
Check.
But you're not rounding there, you're rounding at the third spot.
Oh.
0.8. You're rounding here. Well, that doesn't round up, does it? So it stays as it is, times 10 to the 4th. So that's 0 significant by our rules? Yes. You see what I'm saying? You always round where your last digit, significant digit is.
Yep. Anybody else have questions? Great questions so far.